Hi there, BookTube! My name is Christina and today I'm here with finally the most anticipated books of this summer 2020. I have a bunch of books. I thought that there were 10, but they're a little bit more than that. And if you're wondering why I'm dressed like that, then I have some leaves in my hair and stuff like that. Well, you will see a video in the same outfit before or after this video. Not sure in which order I will publish it, but upload it. But then you will actually understand why I'm so hyped and so hyper, because, well, I've done something very exciting for me and I'm so glad that I finally did it. But back to the topic. Here we are to talk about the new releases of 2020. I have a bunch of books, and actually for this video I had to go back to them and check them out because I wasn't recollecting all of those titles. Apparently I just randomly inserted them and added to my list, but then somehow it became huge. So without further ado, let me get to the titles that I'm expecting and anticipating for this summer 2020. The very first book that I have here is an urban fantasy. It's not a contemporary, but kinda a contemporary and a young adult, and it's very relevant for this time period that we're living right now, and it's A Song Below Water. This book has actually a main protagonist who is a teenager. She's a black girl and she lives in America, and it actually deals apparently with things related to police and to a very difficult moment in time in which she's a siren. Sirens are real, mermaids are real, and they live together with normal people, but it's not that easy to live together, and apparently there are a lot of prejudice and a lot of just hard feelings. So I think that this is a very nice read for this period of time particularly, and it can give you just more an easier access to a difficult topic, probably, since it's an urban fantasy. It still deals with very important concepts and ideas, but maybe it's a little bit easier to get into it. So I hope that it will be a solid read, and again, if the theme is what Goodreads talks about, then it's very important, and I hope that I will enjoy that book. Next is a mouthful. It's The Order of a Pure Moon Reflected in Water, I believe, by Zen Cho. And Zen Cho is actually an author that I really hope to get to soon, because there is Sorcerer to the Crown, I believe it's by the same author, and I've not read it yet, but apparently I only hear great things about this author. So this is a novella actually, but it has a lovely cover. I like it so much, just look at it. And the concept is very strange. We follow this girl who is actually a part of this order, who joins up with a group of thieves, probably against their will, and in order to just fix a situation or protect someone. And I don't know, it's a fantasy, it's a novella, it has an amazing cover, and it has Asian vibes. So by Asian vibes I mean martial arts, fighting, and the Asian kind of landscape. So that's what I mean by Asian vibes, and so that's all I need to know actually, so I'm highly anticipating it. Next is Sisters of Sword and Song, and this one again is a fantasy. I believe that it's a YA fantasy, but it's a standalone, and you know I love standalones. And the concept in this one, I love it because it's about two sisters. Finger crossed there is no romance this time. And we're following actually two sisters who will meet again after 8 years. After 8 years of being separated, because the older sister, she was in the army for the queen, so we're in a queendom, and I enjoy that part too. But when she gets back home, something is definitely wrong, and so they discover that the elder sister, she is actually being accused of treason, and she's being punished. and so the younger sister kind of volunteers to do a part of her sentence, and I love this concept. Sister bond and just like girls supporting each other, I'm in for it, so I hope that I will love that book. And it's a standalone, so yeah, that's a great news. Next is again a fantasy, a YA one, and it's Forest of Souls. Just look at the cover of it. It's mesmerizing, it's so beautiful, and I have the sun up in my face, so I'm standing back and back. And this is the beginning of a series or a trilogy in which we will be following something more, in which we will be following our main protagonist, who is being trained as a spy, a royal spy. But then when shamans attack the kingdom, I believe her best friend is killed, and she accidentally brings her back to life, and so she's not a spy. Apparently she has these crazy superpowers. Maybe she's a necromancer or something like that. And again, we're talking about two female characters at the beginning. For sure there will be romance, but at least the beginning and the setting is like that, and I believe that it will be like our protagonist will be a badass kind of heroine, well, female hero. How is it even told in English? Oh my god, I'm forgetting everything. Well, you got it. So I'm very excited for this one. The cover again is so beautiful, and I hope that the book will stand up to the cover. Next is Muse Squad, and this is a middle grade, the first one in a duology, and I'm so happy about it. I discovered it kind of by chance, and I'm in love with the concept because we're following a Cuban American girl who actually, after a simple pep talk to her friend, turns her to a pop star kinda, and she discovers that she's not a normal girl, she's actually a muse, one of those Greek muses, the one for epic poetry apparently. And so she just meets these other girls who are supposed to become muses, and they have their assignment. They have to like inspire someone and change their fate. But then they discover that on the other side there are sirens, and so they have to like fight each other, and in order to turn this person to the right path. And I don't know, I love this idea. It's Greek mythology mixed with contemporary, mixed with middle grade, and I absolutely love it. Next book is Motherland, and this one is a contemporary, it's fiction, and we will be following two women as protagonists. They will be like not the bride, and they are kind of related because we will be following a young woman, very independent American woman who decides to move and follow her husband, who is actually Indian, to Mumbai. And so she just needs to get in the groove with this new culture, new place, new everything, and she's just trying to get used to it when suddenly her mother-in-law appears, because apparently she left her husband after 40 years of marriage, and now she moves in together with them. So it's a clash of cultures, it's a clash of beliefs, it's a clash of a bride and a mother-in-law, but it's also about understanding each other and just finding that middle ground. So I believe that it will be a very interesting read. I love reading about cultures meeting because like it's part of my life, so it's dear and near to my heart because it's something that I experienced many times in my life, and so I hope that it will be greatly done because I have high expectations. Next is a fantasy, and it's Driftwood, which is very unique, and I don't really know how to sum up it. I don't know if it's a standalone, but it's about this world that kind of collapses on itself, and cultures get destroyed, cities, countries, everything kind of merges in the center and then gets destroyed. And we are following, I believe, a bunch of characters who are kind of getting together in order to commemorate the disappearance of Last, who is supposed to be this guide of this world, who suddenly disappears, and so probably he's dead and they are meeting to commemorate him. And I don't know much more, I don't know how to explain it, but the concept seems so unique for me that I just decided to put it here because maybe you will enjoy it too. I for sure will check it out soon. Then we have Shielded, one more young adult fantasy, and this one, I love the cover. It's very, I don't know, it captivates me for whatever reason, this kind of design, this kind of face on the cover. And here we will be following a princess, a second-born, and she's a fighter and her kingdom is actually at war. There is kind of danger that's getting closer and closer, and so she wants to fight, but her father, the king, has other plans for her. So since she lacks magical abilities that her brother, who is the heir to the throne, has, she's kind of sent off in marriage to a near kingdom so that there will be an alliance. But then when she's traveling, her companionship is attacked, and she discovers something that's very dangerous and that will change the fate of the war and of her whole kingdom. So she needs to make a decision, and I don't know, it seems a good premise for a good fantasy YA story, so why not check it out? Then I have The Year of the Witching, which is very different from the things that I usually read, because this one is classified on Goodreads as a horror fantasy young adult. The horror part scares me a little bit, I have to be honest. But here we will be following our main protagonist, who is kinda already a little bit cast away in this kind of secluded community because her mother had her with an outsider from the village, and this already is a big no-no there. But then apparently it's very religious. I don't know if it's a real religion or an invented one, and she kind of tries to stick to all of the protocols and to be very good. But one day she discovers this diary in the woods that was her mother's diary, and so she discovers that her mother actually was a witch, apparently. And so she starts to understand all of that and testing out if she has some powers too, I believe. And I think that there will be trouble. If you're a witch in a very religious village, something will definitely go very wrong. So maybe this is a great read for October, around Halloween. Next I have a paranormal fantasy that's called Wicked Magic, and I love that cover. This is actually a young adult again, and we're following two best friends. They practice magic, they discover this new power from a book, I believe, and one day a spell goes completely wrong, and so the boyfriend of one of the girls disappears. She believes that he is dead, so of course the friendship kind of falls apart because they committed this horrendous crime, and so they don't know how to stick together. But then after some time, the girl discovers that actually her boyfriend isn't dead. She's just trapped under earth, I don't know, down below somewhere, maybe in a parallel realm, I don't know. And so she needs her friend back in order to try and save him. So we have a good, I don't know, Buffy kind of vibe to it, or maybe more something like Kate Tiernan's books that I loved when I was a young teenager. I don't know if I will still enjoy this kind of book, but I hope that I will. It can be like a bit of a guilty pleasure for me, so this is something that I will check out when I will be able to. And again, something very perfect for October. I don't know why these books actually come out during summer when it's much more appealing to have them out in autumn, at least in my opinion, but there should be a reason. And I don't know if you can see me at all because I'm so bright here and so shadowy up here, but well, we will roll with it. Next I have Quintessence, and it's a middle grade with a stunning cover. I love it so much. And this is a story about a girl who suffers from anxiety apparently, and one day she gets to this strange shop and the owner gives her a message like find the elements, find the stars or something like that. And one day while she's watching in the sky, she just sees a star falling down, and the star is actually a child. And so this is a story about friendship and finding your true self and helping each other out. I know, like just all of these good things a middle grade should have. And actually this one, first of all, again, a beautiful cover, beautiful cover. And then the fact that the star is actually a child really reminds me of Stardust. So I hope that it will be magical and still meaningful and fun at the same time, like only middle grades are able to be. Next is Evergreen, a semi-magical witch. And this, as Goodreads too tells, after I read the premise and like the synopsis, the first thing that I thought was it's like Kiki's delivery service, and it actually is. This is about a young girl who owns just a pinch of magic. She's not that good with magic, so she messes up a lot, but she wants to become a full witch, so she needs to go to a town, stay there, help the city, and then go back to her home after she just done all of her good deeds. And this really screams Kiki Delivery Service for me. I love that movie by Studio Ghibli, and I don't know, I think that it will be an amazing read. It has a beautiful cover, and I've waited for this book for more than a year now, so I'm so ready to own it. Then of course we have Hollow Box, and it's the third book in Morgan Krauss adventures, and I read the second book this year, so I'm so ready for the sequel. I want to dive into it, I want to meet those lovely characters again. I'm just in love with the middle grade story. The first one is Nevermore, and if you've never read it, please do yourself a favor, read it. It will make you feel good, and it's magical, lovely. There is found family, there is magic, there is everything good that there is usually in a good middle grade story. So just follow Morgan in her adventures and know that the third one will be coming out this August. Surprise, surprise, next one is a fantasy, and it's Star Daughter. I believe the title is Star Daughter. I love again the cover, it's just beautiful, and then Goodreads says that it's like a mix of Neil Gaiman's Stardust with something else, and I love Stardust, I love that story, as I just told you before. And this is actually a book in which we will be following a girl who is the daughter of a human and a star. But then she accidentally uses her powers and she hurts her father, and now she needs a full star to heal him, and so she needs to find back her mother, who get back to the sky. And when she arrives there, apparently she finds herself in the middle of a competition, so that's interesting and I'm in for the ride. I don't know if it's a standalone or not. I hope, finger crossed, it's a standalone. I would love that if it's a standalone. So I hope that I will enjoy it. And the last one I have here is a graphic novel, and it's The Daughters of Weiss. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's a graphic novel that puts together a bit of folklore, and we will be following two sisters after the death of their mother, and she's the queen, they're the heir to the throne, but they're very different. After the death of their mother, one just wants to be in the wilderness with the animals and not caring about a thing in the world, and the youngest wants to always be like at court and plotting and scheming, and so they kind of fighting each other, and the realm is falling apart, and it's about loss and about grief and about finding your new place in the world after this thing happens to you. And I hope that it will be a great one. The premise is very, very interesting. And this is it. Finally, this video is so long. I'm so sorry, but these are all of the books that I have here. At this point I'm probably like glowing like Galadriel because I don't see myself in the viewfinder here, but I hope you see something. And yeah, this was it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please let me know down below if you are expecting the release of some of these books, or if you have other new releases that you're waiting for. I'm always in for discovering new books. So this is it, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye! Ciao!